There's been widespread international condemnation of China following a parliamentary vote to impose new national security laws on Hong Kong. The legislation was drawn up in response to last year's pro-democracy protests, with residents potentially facing life in jail for taking part. Here, the Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab described China's actions as a grave and deeply troubling development. From Beijing, our correspondent John Sudworth sent this report.
This was the moment China tightened its grip on Hong Kong. The process itself spoke volumes. 162 votes in favour, none against. For a new law, the text of which was kept secret until after it was passed. This is what it's designed to stop. Under the national security law, many of the acts of protest that have rocked Hong Kong over the past year could now be classed as subversion or secession and punished with up to life in prison.
The legislation will not undermine...
Via video link to a UN Human Rights Council meeting, Hong Kong's pro-Beijing leader said the law was long overdue.
The question of how long we could tolerate such a gaping hole in national security has to be asked and answered. Since last June, Hong Kong has been traumatized by escalating violence fanned by external forces.
When the UK handed over control of Hong Kong in 1997, China promised to safeguard the city's freedoms for 50 years. But just 23 years on, the balance is shifting. A National Security Commission will be above the law. Suspects can be extradited to the mainland. For Beijing, a rising, wealthy superpower, this is all meant as a show of confidence. It could, though, also be seen as the opposite, for a system built on denying people a voice. The resistance and dissent in that unruly city to the south presents a real threat. The impact has been immediate. Activists like youth leader Joshua Wong have announced they are stepping back from politics.
Right or wrong?
You've been arrested yourself. This protester's words are spoken by an actor.
People will feel the fear. This will have a chilling effect on Hong Kong society. Many people just stop talking about politics.
With just a few hours before the law took effect, protesters in Hong Kong made their opposition known. A small, brave gesture in a city at risk of losing its voice. John Sudworth, BBC News, Beijing.